Well, hello. Thanks for being here. So it's that pumpkin spice time of the year. So I'm going to show you how to make 3 easy, delicious vegan A.I.P, which stands for Autoimmune Protocol, breakfast recipes that eliminate foods that cause autoimmune issues, chronic illness, or any inflammation-related symptoms you may be having. So we're going to be eliminating grains, seeds, nuts, dairy, sugar, processed foods, and additives. And I'll put a link below for the full list of things we eliminate on Vegan A.I.P. So the first recipe we're going to make is a pumpkin spice granola, which is delicious in a lot of different ways. And the second recipe is a pumpkin spice waffle. And the third is a pumpkin spice Earl Grey latte, or whatever, creamy deliciousness, hot or cold beverage, however you want it. Let's get started. So we're going to start with 1.5 cups of flaked coconut and 1/4 cup of tiger nut flour. Then we're going to take a cup of unsweetened banana or plantain chips, and we are going to crush those. So crush them down to the consistency that you like. It's subjective. I like them like this, and then add them to your other dry ingredients. So sometimes you can find tiger nut flour in natural food stores around any big city. But if you're living out in the boondocks, or actually I live in a pretty big city and I can't find it at the natural food stores anymore, so I have to order it online. You can order it from Amazon or lots of different websites, or Shop A.I.P website, which I will put the link below. But this is what it looks like. And it's a root, it's not a nut, because again, on Vegan A.I.P, we don't do seeds or nuts initially, and we don't do grains. That's why we're using banana chips and tiger nut flour. But tiger nut flour is kind of like a nut substitute. It's a flour you can make all kinds of things with, but it comes from a tiny root vegetable. Next, we got our spices: 1/4 teaspoon of sea salt, 1.5 teaspoons of cinnamon, a teaspoon of ginger, and 1 teaspoon of mace, which, if you don't know what mace is, it's an alternative to nutmeg, because nutmeg is not allowed on Vegan A.I.P, but it tastes just like nutmeg. It's really good. Also, mace is one of those things I've had a hard time finding at spice and seasoning stores. I had to order this online. And next, we got some dried mango, because it's pumpkin colored. You can use raisins or cherries or any other kind of dried fruit you like, but I love mango. And it was kind of the only fruit I could find right now that didn't have additives and preservatives in it, which we also don't allow on the Vegan A.I.P. So I got this mango, and it's delicious, and I'm going to cut it up into little pieces. And while you're doing this, you want to be preheating your oven to 350 degrees. And we're going to be putting these on a cookie sheet with parchment paper. I like them about that size. Okay, so we got all our dry ingredients here. Let's plop in the mango and give it a whirl. And then we're going to add our wet ingredients. So just mix it up with your hands. Next, we're going to add 1/3 cup of organic canned pumpkin puree, 1/4 cup of maple syrup, and 2 tablespoons of oil. You can use coconut oil. You can use olive oil. I don't recommend it for a recipe like this. So I would go with coconut oil or avocado oil. I'm using avocado oil. Next, we're just going to mix everything up till it's evenly coated. Then we're going to pop it on the baking tray and cook it for about 15 minutes. I mean, every stove is different, so you just got to watch it because you don't want it to burn. Okay, it's been 15 minutes. I think I'm gonna toss it a little bit and put it back in because I want it crunchier. I mean, it definitely does crunch up after you let it cool, but I think I'm gonna put it in for a few more minutes. So here it is. It's cooled, it's delicious, really easy to make. It smells amazing, tastes amazing. I like it over yogurt. Here's one of the A.I.P compliant yogurts that you can find in your natural food stores. I'll list a couple others below. If you want to have it with milk, you can have it with banana milk, tiger nut milk, coconut milk, and I'll put those links below. So enjoy. It's also just a great snack by itself. And kids will love it. Everybody will love it. Okay, let's bring on some delicious pumpkin spice waffles, shall we? It's a tongue twister. Say that 4 times. Delicious pumpkin spice waffles. Say it fast 4 times. So we're gonna start with 3 cups of pureed medium ripe plantains. So you can find plantains in most grocery stores. If you can't find them in your grocery store, if you have like an ethnic grocery store near you, especially Latin grocery stores, you can always find them there. Sometimes they're easy to peel, sometimes they're not. These ones, you can see this one's still pretty green, but they kind of are turning brown because I had them in the fridge. These were pretty green when I got them. They've been sitting out. You could use them. You might have to end up putting more oil in the recipe because they'd just be a little harder to turn into a puree, but we're gonna go with these for now. Slice it down one side, slice it down the other, and just try and peel. If you can't peel it off with your fingers, you might have to use an actual peeler or just cut it off with a knife. Like that. Let's see if I can get this one. Half and half. It's a little tough. Sometimes after they're in the fridge for a few days, it's harder to get the peel off. Get the last little bits off. So again, you want 2 cups. You're gonna slice them like this. And just do that with all the plantains, and then we're gonna blend it with the other ingredients in the food processor. That one's coming off a little easier. Actually, you want 3 cups, not 2 cups. And this one's a lot easier to get off. And so depending on the size of your plantain, that's probably gonna be 2 or 3 plantains as well. Okay, we've added all of our ingredients to the food processor. Let's give it a whirl. You might have to stop it and kind of stir it and get the big parts down in there and give it a whirl again. If it's not soft enough, which it should be because it has pumpkin puree added to it, add a little more oil, okay? So the batter should look like this, pretty creamy and ready to make a waffle. Okay, the waffle iron is hot, so I want to give it a little spray with some oil, avocado or coconut. And let's scoop it on. And the magic begins. Well, let's see how it is. Looks good. There we go. One down. Here they are. I like to top my waffles with fresh fruit or frozen fruit that I warm up. And here we're going with the pumpkin spice theme. So we got some mango on there because it's the right color. And if you want a whipped cream, you can use this organic coconut cream Native Forest brand. It has no guar, which is an additive, so this is pretty much the only one out there. You might be able to find some others, but I put this in the fridge overnight. It's actually, this part is really hard right now, so I need to let it warm up just a little bit, and then I'm just gonna whip it and put it on top. And you can also use maple syrup or coconut sugar on the Vegan A.I.P. So again, but you don't want to overdo the sugar. So, you know, I usually stick with fruit, but if it's a special occasion and you want a special treat and you have friends over, go for it, you know, enjoy. So here you go with some coconut cream. You can take coconut cream and refrigerate it overnight and then whip it with a little bit of the milk to get it to the consistency you want, or coconut milk will have cream on top, so you can refrigerate that too and just scoop out the coconut cream on top and sprinkle with a little cinnamon and you're good to go. All right, first thing you want to do is refrigerate for a few hours or overnight. All fridges are different. You can go with the coconut cream or the coconut milk. The coconut cream is just going to have more cream. And we just want a half a cup of the cream that is on top of both of these that you can scoop out when you refrigerate. So as soon as it kind of hardens on top, that's what you want. So we're gonna get that. And if it's too hard, just let it thaw a little bit because we're gonna be mixing it up. Then we're gonna put in 2 tablespoons of pumpkin puree, some spices, a half teaspoon of cinnamon, a quarter teaspoon of ginger, and a quarter teaspoon of mace, which again is a nutmeg substitute that you might just have to find online. Half a teaspoon of vanilla, and a splash of maple syrup or coconut sugar to your liking, whatever you want. Then we're just gonna blend it up. You can blend it in the blender or food processor, or you can just use a fork. And we got our tea over here brewing with a cup of Earl Grey tea. Leave it in there from 3 to 5 minutes. Get it good and blended. And what I like to do is make up a bunch of this and put it in a container and keep it in the fridge if you're gonna be having festivities, or keep it in the freezer and let it thaw out. And then you can have it for all the festivities coming up. Take a big old scoop, put it in your Earl Grey tea that's been steeping. A little more cinnamon on top. And all the coconut water that is left in the cans after you take out the cream, you can put those in smoothies, you can put those in soups. You can use them in a lot of different ways, other desserts, but here you go. Here's your pumpkin spice latte, and if you want it to be more of a hot toddy kind of flavor, Christmas, Thanksgiving, that time of the year, you can put more nutmeg in it. Enjoy. So I hope you've enjoyed these 3 recipes. Let me know down in the comments. I will put links below on how to get started on Vegan A.I.P, more info related to what you can eat and what you can't eat. On Vegan A.I.P, there are 3 phases, and I hope you enjoy. Happy holidays.